Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And we are here live. We're also live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on LinkedIn. So if you want to watch us, if you want to see what we're going to be doing today and some of the examples, you can do that as easily as going to the chat. And I have put there ice10kvideos.com. Now, if you want to go to Ice 10K videos, that will take you straight to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe when you get to YouTube.
Like, share, comment.
There you go. All of that, Kenyatta. All of that. All right. And do that. Or if you want to go to Ice 10K Live, Ice 10K Live, if you go there, ice10klive.com, then you can choose whichever platform you want to watch us on. So listen, it's going to be that simple this morning. And listen, folks, we have I want to introduce the lady. Oh, what happened to Rose? Rose jumped out. I want to introduce the ladies this morning. Miss Kenyatta, please tell us who you are and what you do. You can even tell us where you are. How about that?
Okay, my name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. I am the official lender of the P.I.L.L Method Room, which basically allows me to help you to find a deal, finance that deal, cancel the interest on that deal to get you in yet another deal. I am committed to your success in real estate. So please contact me if you need help with that or for your business needs. I'm in Delaware.
She's in Delaware. Okay, Miss Kelly, as a moderator, who are you this morning? And where are you? And what do you do?
I'm in Delaware trying to figure out why Kenyatta just won't claim it at this point.
I don't know, Kelly.
just go ahead. It's not that bad. It's okay. We're here. We're your sisters. We're your friends. I am in Wilmington, Delaware, and I'm the owner of Self Care Holistic, which is an e-commerce company with retail and warehouses in Wilmington, Delaware. I also help other business owners get into that space by helping them establish and build their business credit using vendors like myself. And I am here as a supporter of the P.I.L.L method, and I love to be in your space. Thank you for having me, Don.
All right, all right, all right, all right. So, Flame, good morning, sir. Listen, I was wondering if you would just give us a little background of who you are and what you do and how that relates to paying off the debt. I mean, take a couple of minutes.
Hey, good morning to everybody that's on this stage and in this room. Man, thank you first of all for you coming in this room this morning. It means one thing only, that you've committed to sharing this room. So share the room and quit playing around for in here. First of all, let's quit playing and share the room, right? Uh, that'll wake you up. Uh, man, listen, man, Flame here, Flame Newton, man. Everything's pretty much in my bio. Um, I deal with credit. I stay in my lane. But one thing about a home, right? In order to get this home, right, is that your credit is got to be too sufficient, right? But one thing about it is that we understand across the board is that there are a lot of different elements that could go into a home. Number one is being able to afford the home. Now, what I do is I teach people how to go in the bank and come out with cash money. Um, and when you come out with cash money, that'll help you. You know, you grow your businesses, and the money that you make off your businesses will help you buy the home. Now, how does this work hand in hand? Is because you got to understand. For one, is that credit is the seed. This is what I'm saying. It is the seed. It is the seed. It's a planting point, right? So what we're doing is what we're talking about is saying, hey, you see all the congratulations stickers that go out, right? Deservingly so, right? When someone says, hey, I went out and I got a home, that's something that they will say, right? They will take a bunch of pictures. They'll hold the keys in their hand. Now, listen to what I'm telling you, right? They would hold the keys in their hand. Kenyatta know I'm not lying. They will hold the keys in their hand. They will stand next to the home. They will stand next to the home where it said it's sold. But you know one thing they won't have in their hand? That is the deed. They will not have that deed in their hand. So where does the deed reside? That's the interesting topic. Where does the deed reside? Right? Once you understand about this, and this is exactly what we're talking about, is being able to commit yourselves in these areas so you can actually pay off that home in 7 years, and not just pay off that home in 7 years, but actually receive the deed. So I want somebody right now in the chat right now. If you're in the chat right now this morning, I want you to type in the chat. I want you to type receive the deed. Type that in the chat right now this morning. Please, I need you to go type in the chat this morning. Receive the deed. That is the ultimate goal, right? That what you have to be able to that you have to be able to understand. That is one thing. It's a process. Right. That process starts off with you actually getting your credit together. Listen, we got 8 shares in a room, right? I need you to get us to 20 shares right now, right? It's 8 shares in a room. This is what we call digital currency. Digital currency is a form of where there is no money to be exchanged. It's just a form of saying, hey, I appreciate what is going on. Now, how do you do that? You go down to the bottom where you see a rectangle with a little arrow pointing up. That means that you're sending this out to the world. See, one of the things that I do know across the board is that people love the storyline. There's a storyline. The storyline is, how you say it, Kelly? They didn't teach me this in school. Nobody taught me this. Well, my parents didn't teach me this, right? People got so many storylines about why they didn't get the information, right? One thing is that can't get the information unless you yourself help share the information that you're going to receive. So, with that being said, I need you to type receive the deed in the chat. Also, want you to go to the share button and share this room. Again, I need you to get us up to 20 shares. Right now we got 10 shares. I need to get the 20 shares. We got to get 10 more shares in this room. Right? That's what I'm asking you to do. So if you're in a mirror this morning, combing your hair out, stop for just a quick second and hit the share button on this room. Right? That's what I'm looking for this morning. I'll be back in just a second.
Thank you very much, Flame. Listen, folks, we're getting started here this morning. We're going to get some other people to introduce themselves. But first, we've got somebody that just came to the stage, Miss Crystal. Miss Crystal, do you have a question or a comment for us this morning?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now, Miss Crystal.
Okay. Yes, I have a question.
Go right ahead with your question.
I was in a situation where my home caught on fire,
Mm-hmm.
and the money that I received for the fire is enough to fix my home, and the money that they gave me to replace all of my damages is enough for me to pay my home off. So I'm trying to decide, is it a good thing to pay the house off? I owe $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm trying to decide, pay the house off with the money that they gave me to repair all the damages, because I won't be in my home for at least a year. And then I can work on saving up the money to, I mean, it's a nice amount of money that they gave me.
Right.
And it's enough to do some stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best thing to do concerning the house.
All right, Miss Crystal, let me tell you something. We're going to, can I tell you some things in general? But if you'd like
Sure.
to drill down deep, because, you're already mentioning you got a good amount of money, and I understand you not wanting to say on air how much that is. So let's talk about some things in general, and then give you some ideas that maybe you want to get with me offline and do a consultation, and we can kind of figure this thing out, okay?
All right.
All right. So now let's talk about, in general, why would you want to pay a house off?
So I won't have to spend the next 20 years making payments.
Okay. So nobody wants to make this. Now, let me ask you this. If the money, if the money you were paying, if all the money you were paying, every single dollar you paid went to principal or the amount that you owed, would you want to rush to pay it off? In other words,
No.
if you had a 0% interest on a loan, is there any reason to pay it off faster?
No.
No. So you don't want to pay off your home faster. What you're trying to do is save on the interest, aren't you?
Absolutely.
There you go. So this is how we need. So folks, when we start looking at these things, we want to try to figure out what's really going on behind the scenes. Okay. Because right now, Miss Crystal, I believe you're looking at your payment and you're seeing how much goes to the loan, how much goes to pay down your house, and how much the bank is taking from you in the form of interest, which I call rent on your money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you're not liking that, are you?
Not at all. Not at all. When I look at it, I say, wow, so much is going towards the interest, nothing is going towards the principal.
All right. So what we need to do is figure out, number one, how much interest you have left to pay. Now, we can do that here. We can figure out how much interest you have left to pay. Now, the next thing is, how do we end up not paying all of that interest to the bank and still get our house in a relatively short period of time? Here's what I tell people most of the time. If you could borrow that money at a 75% discount, so when we do our when we do a savings and earnings report for our clients, we can figure out how much interest we're going to save them over time, which means they're going to pay a tiny amount of interest as opposed to the large amount of interest. Then when we figure that out, we can then show them, if you're only going to pay this amount of interest, then what would your interest rate have to be to pay that amount of interest? For a lot of our clients, the interest rate would have to be around 1% or less. Now, I want you to follow me here. If you could borrow money at 1% or less, would your money be more valuable paying off the house, or would your money be more valuable investing in something else that made more than 1%?
Invest in it.
Ooh, look at you. Do you have some ideas?
I do.
I
do.
If you didn't, I do.
I do.
Miss Crystal, something was telling me you had some ideas. He says, should I pay off my house with this money, or should I invest this money in something and grow my money? You got listen, some people can't look at my house burned down and they don't look at that as an opportunity to do something else.
Well, I am.
How about that?
I want to make sure.
All right, my goodness. So what kind of ideas do you have?
Well, I'm looking at investing. I hear about the Airbnb. I'm looking at fixing up my house and then renting it out as an investment property and staying where I am right now.
Lord have mercy. Take our assets and then turn it into some income producing property. I love that idea. So yeah, we could get together on that. But let me show you some things. Are you able to see are you able to see a computer screen right now? Are you where you can see your computer or your tablet?
I'm on my phone, but I can get to it.
All right. Well, listen, I need you to get to your computer because I want to show you some things here about how this whole idea of saving money works. And I think you're going to like what you see because I'm going to put some stuff on the screen. And let me know when your computer's up and running. We will give you, and we're going to go ahead and give you a website to go to so you can actually see this on your screen, on your computer screen.
My computer isn't coming on for some reason.
All right. Well, listen. I can listen. If you can't see it, I'm just kind of wondering. If I put this on the screen so you could see it later on the replay, would you believe it if I told you what the numbers are?
Yes.
Okay. Because
Hey, Ice.
come on, Flame.
I need to do something right now, right? Because I believe in energy. I'm a big believer in energy. right? So what I'm asking you guys to do right now, I need you to put them number nines in the chat right now for Crystal. That's what I want you to do. Why are you putting number nines in the chat for Crystal? Because we cheering her. Let's cheer that computer on going this morning. It needs a little power to get going on. So let's give it the power it needs. Go to the chat right now. Let's hit that number nine button. Pump that number nine button. I need you to pump that number nine button for Crystal. Let's get that computer to going. Let's give it the energy. Let's give it the power source it needs. Come on now. We see it kind of blinking. It's trying to hit. It's trying to hit. We need some more number nines in the chat. We got to get that computer working. Come on now. Push a little harder. We trying to get that energy over to Crystal
All
so
right,
that computer
hold
can
on.
come on.
It's not working because something is not plugged in. My lamp is not even coming on. So I don't know if there was a power outage during the night. So that's the whole problem. Let me see where the plug is. But you know,
That's okay, Miss Crystal. What we're going to do is we're going to let Flame do what he does to get some people in here so that they can see your example. We're going to put something on the screen so to help you here. Flame's going to get some people in here. We're going to get the energy up, and then I'm going to tell you what's on here so that you can see it later. Okay? Come on, Flame. Let's get some folks in here.
That's right. Right now, this is what I'm asking you guys to do. Listen, if you're ready for Mr. Don to show you these examples about how to be able to, because she said a very interesting point, right? A very interesting point. Miss Crystal she came up here this morning, and thank you to Miss Crystal for coming up here as you up here. She said, I got the money to pay off my home. Is it better to pay off my home now that I have the money to pay it off? And listen, and Mr. Don's answer this morning was, hey, do you want to pay off the home or do you want to save the amount of money that you actually giving the interest that you're giving the lender? Listen, if that ain't enough right now, I don't know what is. Listen, I need you guys to go hit the share button. I need you to hit that share button this morning. What I'm asking you to do is to ask. I think that's a cool thing to do is to ask guys to do is to hit the share button, right? Because we've known so many times before that the information that you're receiving this morning or that you've had prior to receive, no one has told you about. Nobody shared the information with you. Listen, now's the time where you can actually put that energy back. Sharing the room, what it does is it may teach somebody else a way to save money. Listen, we're in the same boat. Whoever's in this room, my voice, we're in the same boat. And what boat is that? We do not like throwing away money, right? We do not like throwing away money, right? And what I mean by throwing away money is giving money to the interest instead of to the principal. If you guys don't like away throwing money as well, just like me, let me see the number nines in the chat. And also let me see you share the room. Okay, good looking. I see how you just share right now. I appreciate that. If you haven't shared the room once this morning, please just go down to the bottom and share the room, right? I can't. Let me pause for a second. Am I begging you guys to share the room for real? I said share the room. I didn't say nothing else. I didn't say drop $1 into the offering plate. I said share the room. I'm tripping. Let me pass the.
Okay, listen, folks. I'm going to put this on the screen right now, Flame. Thank you so much for doing what you do. Flame's going to come back, folks. And listen, he is a master talking about building up credit. And listen, the way he teaches it. Listen, and then Credit Goddess. Listen, she is our resident expert here on helping you to improve. I mean, credit restoration, building up your profile. And listen, I've even talked to her. She's even showing me what she does so that I can talk about it even better. Because you hear me stumbling over my words. So she's going to meet with me. She said, Don, I need to teach you what I'm doing. So she's going to call my assistant. She's going to teach me what she's doing so I can talk about it better so that when my clients need something from her, I can get that over to her. Oh my goodness. I love, love, love it. And Miss Kenyatta, she is our resident lender. We're going to be working all together. Everybody's going to be working together here and pulling together this collaboration. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. I need you all to see this. And right now, we're putting on this example. So I have 200, Miss Crystal, I have 200, a mortgage of $233,000 on my screen here at 4.25%. Okay. And these folks they've been in they've been in their mortgage a half a year. So they have 29 and a half years left. Are you hearing me, Miss Crystal?
I hear you.
Okay. You know how much interest they're supposed to pay on this loan? They're supposed to pay no. I got that. I take that back. $176,000, $176,825 interest on a $233,000 loan. Does that sound like 4.25% to you? Oh my goodness, that's a lot of money. So, but working with us, now here's what's key. They won't have to change their budget. They're going to, the same budget that they use to qualify for this loan is the same budget we're going to use to save them interest on this loan. So in other words, Ms. Crystal, you don't need to make more money to get out of debt or get a lump sum from the insurance company to get out of debt. What we're going to do is show you how to pay less interest. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. So now, instead of them coming up with a lump sum like you have to pay down the debt, I said, well, let's take what you have and show you how to pay less interest. So instead of paying $176,000 in interest over the next 29 and a half years, because that's what takes them so long to pay this off, is all $176,000 going to interest. Wow. You know, that is a total paid back. The bank wants a total of $410,000 from these folks. $410,805 just to pay off $233,000. I got to pay off $233,000, but they want me to spend $410,000. No wonder it takes so long. We're going to show them how to pay only $35,349. Miss Crystal, did you hear that?
Wow.
So for them to only pay $35,349 using their current budget, meaning they are going to save $141,000 in interest that they don't have to pay the bank now. $141,000. In other words, here's how I want you all to look at this. Listen, if you are not in here watching this right now, you need to be on ice10kvideos.com. ice10kvideos.com. You need to see this. They're saving $141,000 in interest. That is an 80% reduction. Now, who likes to do shopping? Who likes to shop for sales? Who likes to do discount shopping? All right. Here's what we're talking about. You're going to go shopping today, and you're now going to be able to buy anything you want at 80% off. Would you be happy? Listen. So what we're going to do is show you how to get 80% off on this. Pay $35,000 in interest instead of $141,000. Miss Crystal, do you know what the interest rate would have to be if you did it the bank's way? 0.96%. 0.96%. Miss Crystal, that's less than 1%. So if you could borrow money at less than 1%, should we be paying off a loan that I can get at less than 1%? Should I be paying that loan off, taking my lump sum of money to pay it off? Or should I take my lump sum of money and invest it if I could borrow money at 0.96%? Now, listen to this. I'm going to tell you the rest of the story before you answer, okay? If they pay only $35,000, do you know, instead of paying off this loan in 29 and a half years. Do you know they're only going to be in this loan for 6.5 years and it'll be paid off using their income instead of their lump sum of money? Because more money goes to principal and less goes to interest following our program.
Okay.
So we're not asking people to come up with more money. Listen, I need you to repeat that after me. Are we asking you to come up with more money? The answer is no. I need you to say no, Miss Crystal.
No.
No, we're not asking you to come up with more money. We want you to pay less interest. Please say less interest, Miss Crystal.
Less interest.
Oh, come on now. Let's Flame. I'm not doing this right. I'm not giving it justice, Flame. I need people to say. I need people to understand that they're paying less interest. Come on, Flame, help me out.
Man, listen. One thing that
we lost your mic,
Flame. Number 9 in the chat. Listen, we got 16 shares in the room, right? If you want somebody else to pay less interest, if you're not a person that is selfish, right, and that you want to see somebody else thrive off of paying less interest as well, let me see you share this. Share the room. That's what I'm looking for. I need you to share this room, right? We got 16 shares in here, right? 30 so people that's in the room. I need you to share the room. 17 shares. Let me get to 18. Can we get to 20 shares? 20 shares. Come on, give me 3 more shares. Can I get share number 18? Who's gonna come in here and give me share number 18? I need number 18. Okay. Who got share number 19? Somebody got number 19 in them to get that share number 19. Let me see that number share. Who's gonna be able to take this room and get it to share number 19? Right? I'm looking for share number 19. Can somebody get me the share number 19? Right? Okay, we got share number 19. And the last one, let me get the share number 20. Not the last one. Give me share number 20. Who's can get us to that 20th mark where we need to get to this morning? Let me get the share number. Oh my God, y'all want to just show out this morning. I see you. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Less interest. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Flame. Miss Crystal, I muted your mic.
Felt like we was at an auction.
Come on now. Come on, Miss Kelly.
That's well, pretty much that's what's happening, right? They're sending your stuff around and they're auctioning you off, right? And that's why what happens is everybody's licking their chops when you're coming in, right? Because you're paying the interest, right? What we're learning this morning is how to pay less interest, right? But speaking of less interest, let me see you type less interest in the chat. If you want to pay less interest, right? Because this is the energy movement right now. If you want that energy to pay less energy, you got to feel it. You got to walk it. You got to talk it. And you got to write it in the chat, right? With that being said, I need you to type less interest in the chat. Less interest in the chat. That's what I'm looking for you to do, is to type less interest in the chat, right? The reason that you're typing less interest in the chat is because you want to put more towards the principal. And that's what we're learning this morning. These are the things that I want you guys to understand. Oh man, y'all got 24 shares. Y'all just don't know how to, boy, one thing about this room here, boy, listen, when it's time to show out, you know what I mean? Y'all know how to do it, man. Y'all put on your fancy shoes this morning with 24 shares. You know what I mean? Okay, who gonna get that 25th share, right? Since you want to show out, if you Billy Bad, let me see that 25th share come across that room then. If you Billy Bad, if you like that, right? If you're talking about you want to pull up on somebody, let's pull up on these lenders this morning and get to the 25th share so we can pay less interest. That's what I'm talking about. Let's pay less interest. Pay less interest. You guys go to the chat right now and pay less interest, right? Say the words, less interest. It's the way that you have the energy for it. Just saying less interest. Are you with me?
All right, Flame. Thank you so much, Miss Crystal. Come on, you can unmute your mic. So right now, we've just showed you that a client of mine. This is an actual client. All right, that has a loan of $233,000, came to us and asked the question, how do I pay my loan off faster? And I had to gently correct them, Miss Crystal. It is not paying off your loan faster. It's how do you pay the loan off cheaper with the amount of money that you already have? Oh, you don't need more money. You don't need more money.
Mhm.
You got plenty of money. Just too much of that money is going to interest.
Agreed.
Right. So we don't need to pay
Mhm.
off fast. We just need to pay off cheap. Come on now.
Okay, makes sense.
All right. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put on another screen a little bit about how this all works. But first of all, I need everybody to dial in right now because we're gonna play a little video for you all because about a month ago today, we had a gentleman come and speak to us in Nashville, Tennessee. He was my keynote speaker at the Developing a Spiritual Money Mindset Conference that the P.I.L.L Method sponsored in Nashville, Tennessee, and he was there. His name was Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher. And listen, it's not just me saying this. If you want to know more about how to pay off a loan faster, if you want to know more about how to pay a loan off cheaper, then I need you to listen to Dr. Eric Thomas and see what he had to say about this program. Will you roll it, please?
Listen to me, y'all. I didn't even know he was responsible. But one of his mentees, probably about 4 years ago, maybe, took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, "Oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money?" I was like, "I don't know, forever." She's like, "You sure?" Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. And so when I paid the house off, my boy was like, "You ain't gotta do that, you can do this." But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest. Do me a favor, take these principles and use them. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. I love you guys. Take care.
I love to hear that scream in the background, Kenyatta.
I was so overjoyed. And let me just tell you, Don, I just heard something different today.
Okay.
I was there when he said it, and we played this so everybody will know that Eric Thomas is using it. But today, what I heard was him basically saying, "Yo, I'm Eric Thomas." And she still was looking at him sideways, like, "I don't know if I can relax just yet." And it wasn't until the P.I.L.L method was enacted and the family saved money that she really was like, "Okay, now we in the big leagues." That's how I heard it this morning.
All right. Thank you for that, Kenyatta, for that insight. Listen, folks, I need you to hear something else that was going on. Dr. Eric Thomas is the number one motivational speaker on the planet. Okay. He can go in. I just heard him just this past weekend. He was in a small town in Athens, Texas. Athens, Texas. Okay. This past Saturday morning. And he was preaching there in Athens, Texas to youth at the youth tent at a camp meeting there in Athens, Texas. All right. He mentioned that because of his faith, he got a speaking engagement for 1 hour, $150,000. Okay. So this is the kind of fees that he commands, $150,000 an hour. Did you know he did not take his wealth, and a lump sum, Miss Crystal? He did not take a lump sum and pay off his mortgage. He used this system to pay less interest on what he was doing. He used this program, the P.I.L.L method, to pay less interest on his mortgage and therefore paid it off in 4 years and he takes his money that he's getting from speaking, $150,000 an hour, $75,000 an hour, what he charges, and then he does that to and invest in his properties and invest in other children. Taking them to Dubai, taking them to the Super Bowl, showing other people how they can level up. That's what he uses his money on, Miss Crystal, not paying off mortgages. We showed him how to pay less interest. Even the number one motivational speaker in the entire world did not take a lump sum to pay off his mortgage. Are you? So go ahead and come off mic, Miss Crystal. Go ahead and unmute and tell us what you think about that. Are you still there? Because we can't hear you. Go ahead and hit that microphone button. All right. There you go.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to find it. Oh, yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right. So listen, do you want to know how you can find out how you can save money on interest and pay off your loan faster without using that lump sum of money that you've been blessed with?
Yes.
Okay. So you see that button, the link at the top of the page, P.I.L.L method. All right. Clubhouse, simulcast. That is my digital business card. So you can click on that and then go to the link. And then there is a button on my digital business card that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill that information out. Follow all of the directions. Okay. Follow all of the directions because we need to verify your cell phone number. When you click on confirm that, we're going to send you out a code to your phone. Click the confirm once. Wait for the code to come to your phone. Take the code from your messages and type that code back into the website. Then when you confirm the code, then the website will ask you, do you want to save now? And then you say yes, and it'll let you into a form and you fill out that financial form. Once you fill that out, once you fill that out, then somebody from my staff will come in and give you a call and set up a consultation. And we're going to go over how much interest you still owe, how you can take your budget to pay less interest and pay that loan off faster. And then we can talk to some of the other people that are on the stage to see how you can invest your money into building up more wealth for you. Instead of paying off a mortgage, we're going to be able to pay off for about 1% or less. How do you like those apples?
I love them.
Right. If you have any problem with that, I need you to hit me up on the back channel. Go ahead and make sure you follow me. Okay. Do you know how to follow?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and follow me. And if you run into any trouble, then hit me up on the back channel or on my Instagram and let me know you're having a little bit of trouble. And then I will get somebody on that to help you to make sure that we're getting you all the information that you asked for. Miss Crystal, is there anything else we could do for you this morning? Has this been helpful?
This has been very helpful. I look forward to speaking with you later on.
All right. So to finish
Thank
this,
you so much for inviting me on the stage.
listen, you are so welcome. And just so that in your honor, we're going to put on the screen as well how interest cancellation actually works. So I'm going to put that on the screen and I'm going to share a new screen. I'm going to stop share on this one. And then we're going to share a new screen, share screen, boom, boom, just like this. And folks, Flame, I'm putting up a new example and people need to get in here to see it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Listen, man, 29 shares. Let me get to number 35. You guys that's in this room right now. Let's hit the share button down below. Listen, I'm telling you, this information that you're gonna receive this morning is beyond. Listen, he's already put himself in position to help Miss Crystal, and I'll be so glad. Hello.
Go ahead, Flame.
Okay. Just hit the share button down below. That's the first thing we got to do. Let's hit the share button of the room, making sure that everyone gets this information. Um, Also, what I need you to do, man, Miss Crystal came up here. She shared with us. I thought that was a great thing. And you've seen how it's working out for her in the direction that she's headed. If you guys too want to be a part of that process, making sure that you go to the top, hit Mr. Don 10K card, right? Hit his 10K card, right? So you can actually learn more, right? You can actually understand that he has a book that he also has called the P.I.L.L Method, right? Being able to obtain that book is one of the things prerequisites that I recommend that you guys get. Wonderful book. I read it from beginning to end, and I encourage you guys to as well. Right now, I'm looking for you guys to share the room and go to his 10K card. And with that being said, there you go, Mr. Don.
Thank you very much, Flame. Listen, we got folks. If you want to ask a question, you don't have to wait for an invitation. Raise your hand right now. Get ready to ask questions because because of what Miss Crystal was talking about, we're going to show you some things you can do with your current budget to save money in interest and pay off loans faster. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put on the screen by amortization calculator. And I just saw Miss Dawn flashing. Miss Dawn, do you have a question or comment?
Yes, I do, Don. As we spoke previously, I have already paid off my mortgage. But what about those of us who want to get into investing? How can we use the pill method to our advantage?
Well, listen, you guess what? I can do a 2-for-1. I can use this example and show how people can use this technique to get into investing as well. How would you like that?
I would love that.
All right, so we're going to use that example. So I need to get one more piece of information, and then we'll be able to do just that. And so we're going to put in um, on this. I have a real estate investor. Okay, a real estate investor right in this area, and I'm going to put in his mortgage. All right. And then we're going to show what he's doing. So his payment is $8,704. All right. His interest rate is 5%. All right. And it is a 25-year loan. So that is 300 payments. Now I'm going to take the principal out and it's going to show us what his loan is. His loan is $1,488,906, Miss Dawn. All right. $1,488,000. How do you like that? Is that an investment for you?
It is.
Okay. So he has another property. Okay. And then we're looking at both of these properties for this gentleman. He has another property that is a little less expensive. It's like 800,000. Okay. But both, when you add up the payments, they come to about $14,000 a month that he's paying in mortgages. $14,000 a month. He is actually receiving over $41,000 a month from tenants, because these are commercial buildings. He's receiving over $41,000 a month, and he is paying on his mortgages $14,000 a month. So, is that the kind of investment you were talking about, Ms. Dawn?
Exactly.
Okay, so folks, this is what we're talking about. Okay, so let me show you what's going on with this mortgage. We're going to give you some basic information on this so that we can get and Ms. Kenyatta, what are we going to do for the people who just came into the room and they want to see this example?
Hi, new people. What you want to do is go to ICE 10K videos with an S ice10k.com. Again, that's ice10k videos with the s.com. It'll allow you to go straight to YouTube where you can like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, share so we can get this information out.
And Flame, we have 29 people who've shared the room. Flame, I don't know. In your estimation, is that enough people can see how we can pay off $1 million loan, $1.5 million loan cheaper?
Man, when you start talking about numbers like that, listen, that alone is enough for a share. Listen, we got 29 shares in the room. For anybody that just came in the room now, I'm looking for you to share the room. Also, listen, if you're looking to paying less interest right now on the things that you're buying, right? Your home, when you start talking about paying off a home in 7 years, what we're looking for you now is to making sure that you want to understand it. The way that you understand it is to process this information, and you process it through a lot of energy. Some of the energy that we're going to do is that you can actually talk this into the world. You can. All right. And there's another way that you can do it. That's called type it in the chat. So listen, I need you to type less interest into the chat. I need you to do that also. Listen, we had 29 shares now. Get us to 35 shares right now. If you're in a room right now, who has it in them right now this morning to help us out to get us to 30 shares? To 30 shares. 30 shares in a room. We at 29. Who can give us one share? I'm just asking for one share. If you can give us one share, that could do a lot. And the reason that you're sharing the room is because this is information that he's given. And with the information that he's given, it'll be information that your peers can actually know, that they can learn as well. So you don't have to say, this is what he said. You can put it in the hallway and your peers can actually see it. You understand that? So with that being said, listen, we got 31 shares of the room. Get us to 35 shares. I need you to get to 35 shares. Hit that share button. Hit that share button. There we go. We got 33 shares. Let me get 2 more shares. 2 more shares. Who got us to get us to 35 shares this morning? I need to get to 35 shares. Who can get us to help us to get to 35 shares? Let's throw this in the hallway. Listen, I last looked in the hallway and it said shoot your shot. Now, if shoot your shot could get 75 shares, I know we could get 35 shares for trying to pay off a home in 7 years. So with that being said, let us get 2 more shares. We got 33 shares. Who could get us to 34? Who's the person that can actually take this room and put us at 34 shares right now? I know there's somebody that's out there that's hearing this information and want somebody else to know it. It's 33 shares to the room. I need to get somebody getting to 34 shares, right? How do you get this room to 34 shares? Is actually taking it. You're going to go here where it says share, right? You'll share the room, right? And when you share the room, right, you can just say whatever that you feel about it, right? And the thing about it is, I want you to be able to pass this information on to your loved ones over and over again because of the information that you get, right? Making sure that you share the room. Okay, there we go. We got it. Thank you.
All right, Flame. Thank you so very much. Listen, folks, we're going to listen. If you've got a question, I saw a question in the back chat. If you got and I need the moderators to do me a favor. Check the chat every now and then for questions, and do me another favor. If there's anything in our chat that sounds like somebody trying to invite you to invest in cryptocurrency or anything like that, no pitching in the back chat. I want that deleted immediately. I just had to delete one. Okay. It was a robot in there trying to distract us this morning, talking about if you want to make a little bit more money, let me know. No, folks, we're not doing that today. So if you guys listen, if the moderators, if you see anything like that in there, get that out of there, because we're not interested at all in learning how to do that. Listen, there's some credible people that know how to do cryptocurrency, and then they're not trying to get new customers by coming on other people's stages and trying to solicit from the back chat. Reputable people don't do that, folks. I'm letting you know. Reputable people don't come into the back chat and try to solicit to try to trick you into making more money. Okay, they don't do that. All right. So listen, folks, we've got $1,488,000 on the screen as a mortgage payment. Guess what the bank wants on this loan? They want, how much interest do they want, Miss Dawn? They want $1,150,000 $122,293.35 in interest on this loan.
Seeing it here.
$1,122,000. So you are seeing this?
Yes, I'm looking at it online as well.
Excellent, excellent. So listen, I am going to look at it with you so that I will not be out of sync this morning. So I'm going to go on YouTube myself, go to my own live so I can watch this myself. All right. So we're going to bypass that. Boom. And there we are. Okay. There it is. I can see it myself too. All right. So because what I'm talking about and what we're seeing is sometimes there's going to be a delay. So let's take a look at the very first payment. And here is what takes so long. Every time you make a payment to this, some of your money goes to principal. And when you pay the loan down and you compare that to what you how much the property is worth, then that's called equity. The difference between what you owe and what the property is worth is called equity. And so on this very first payment, we paid this loan down by $2,500, which means we've created approximately $2,500 in equity. Isn't that true, Ms. Dawn?
Yes, I'm seeing it here.
Okay. But how much interest does the bank want us to pay that month?
$6,203.78.
So if you're in business, Ms. Dawn, do you want to pay the bank $6,200 so that you can create $2,500 in equity?
No.
That is listen, that's a total of $8,700 paid out. Okay. I want everybody to listen to this. $8,700 paid out. So you can get $2,500 in equity. I really do need the real estate investors to zero in on this because I heard it just yesterday. I was in Business Over Breakfast and we're talking about that. And they said, well, this is just the cost of doing business. If you are cash flowing, it doesn't matter what your interest rate is. If you set this thing up right, you can always make money. And I said, you're exactly right. You can always make money. But let me ask you this. If paying $6,000 is the cost of doing business, what if you could pay less? What if you could pay less interest? Would that be okay with you? And everybody was saying yes, but they haven't focused on that yet because remember, this gentleman is paying out $14,000 a month in mortgage payments, but he's cash flowing over $41,000 a month. So he's making money and he really never looked at how much interest he was paying before until he read my book. Oh, we're going to talk about the book in a few minutes, folks. So listen, if you want to get there early, just click the link above and you can find the link, the link that says get this book. It is the only book on the internet, is only book on Amazon that talks about what we're talking about today. Oh my goodness. So we've got $2,500 going to principal, $6,000 going to interest. Here's what happens. So the bank takes your $2,500 and then subtracts it from what you owe, and then takes you to the principal balance of $1,486,000. The principal balance is there. So then the bank takes the principal balance and then calculates how much interest you owe on the very next line. So Ms. Dawn, because you owe less, your interest payment on line 2 is less because that's the very next line. So you go from $6,200 paying in interest all the way down to how much interest you pay on line 2, Ms. Dawn?
$6,193.36. Yeah, right.
Wow. That's still a lot of money. Okay. Now, here's what I want everybody to know, especially the real estate investors. You have an opportunity here, all right, to learn how to read an amortization schedule and to save interest. The reason why the banks use this formula, this amortization formula, because it makes them a lot of money. But there's a weakness in their system. And the weakness is this: you can never, ever, 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 you can't ever,
Ever.
never, never, ever find out how they're doing it. Let me tell you something, because you're gonna learn something here today. The people who work in the bank do not know what you're getting ready to learn today. So don't call and ask the people who answer the phone. The people who own the bank understand this. They have not, I repeat, they have not taught it to their employees. And listen, there is no one on the stage that has been in more banks than Flame Newton. Flame, can you count how many banks you've been in?
Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue. Don't have a clue.
Listen.
But one thing I can say you is that when you're walking into these banking institutions, a lot of times people, they get mesmerized by saying, hey, this person works at the bank and they should know. But the thing that you got to understand is that every time that they change in positions at the bank, they have to get retrained. That means that the bank gives them information at which they want them to know, right? And so with that being said, Don the Iceman, he actually has that information which you guys can learn, right? When we're saying that, I'm also saying that you guys can, I want everybody to know this. Mr. Don knows it. He's over here sharing it with us, right? And I think as a courtesy, right, they got this thing called pay it forward, right? It's a pay it forward type of thing. And how it works is that if you're in line getting some food from a fast food restaurant, as they say, or getting a coffee, right, you actually buy your food. And what happens is you actually pay for the person behind you. And so the way that I'm asking you guys to do is pay for the person behind you. And the way that you do that is go to the bottom and share the room. That allows right now is to pay it forward. The information that he's sharing with us, I want you to share it with someone else. And as well as you're going to learn this information that is actually changing the world. Because one thing that he said, and he specified on this, and he stayed on this, and he elaborated, was this is something that they would never, ever, never, ever, ever, never tell you, because the banks themselves, the people that work at the bank themselves, don't even know. So with that being said, just for that alone, let us get up to 40 shares. 45 shares. Come on. I need you to hit that link right now. 45 shares. We got to let the whole world know about this information. So if you just came into the room and you have not shared the room yet, listen, we're asking you to share the room to get us to 45 shares. Share the room. And how do you share? You go down to the bottom where it says, where there's an arrow, arrow going up, and hit that to send it out to the rest of your colleagues, your friends, or anybody else that's on this Clubhouse platform that you're associated with. With that being said, back to you, Don.
All right. Thank you very much, Flame. Listen, folks. So what we're going to talk about is something that the bank owners do not tell their employees. Do not assume people who sell mortgages understand mortgages. Do not assume that. Okay. So here's what we're talking about. I need you all to take a look at this screen if you're seeing this. And then we have $2,500 going to principal and $6,203 going to interest in the very first month. Let's pretend, Miss Dawn, that we're in the month of January and we just made the payment on this loan. We don't owe anything else until February, correct? Ms. Dawn? If you're speaking, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was trying to share at the same time that you were speaking. Yes, I'm looking at you.
Okay. Well, thank you so very much for sharing.
Yes.
All right, folks. So listen. So we just made our payment, our very first payment on line 1. Okay. So that means if we can see if we start out in January, we can see February's principal payment, correct?
Yes, yes.
How much is February's principal payment?
February's principal payment is 2,000. No, we are going to line 3.
Nope.
Or line 2.
Yeah, February. We're on line 2.
2,510.
Okay.
64.
All right. So here's my question. We know we got to give that to the bank because we got to give them back the money that we borrowed, correct?
Yeah.
Do we have to wait till next month to give them $2,510.64?
No.
If we had it, could we give it to them in January?
Yes.
If we did, do you know that every single penny of this money goes to principal? And we're
Awesome.
paid down to line 2 already in January. So if we're
Awesome.
paid down to line 2 in January, then our next mortgage payment for February is on what line of this schedule?
Line 3.
Exactly. So that the payment for March actually moves up one. Guess what just happened? Instead of getting rid of one payment for over $8,000, this one, getting rid of payment number 2, only costs $2,510.64. It's gone. Payment number 2 is gone. We've just turned a 300-month loan into 299 months instantly with only $2,500.
So let me ask you this question,
Sure.
Don. I have learned in the past where uh, there was the advice that you pay your mortgage every 2 weeks instead of paying it once a month. What's the difference with this? Am I hearing that, say, for example, I have enough money to pay, say, months 2, 3, and 4? I can go to my bank and pay that, and it will cut it in half, or is there a system um, to to that?
Well, you just mentioned 2 different systems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. One is biweekly payments. And I will tell you this, everyone who comes to the P.I.L.L method, becomes a P.I.L.L method client, they end biweekly payments immediately,
Mm-hmm.
because biweekly payments end up, you will pay actually 13 payments a year. That's what biweekly payments will end up doing for you. 13 payments a year. All right. Now, the most expensive interest payments are at the beginning of the loan or at the end of the loan, Miss Dawn?
At the beginning.
So if you want to get rid of interest, which interest payments do you want to get rid of?
The beginning.
Then why would you wait a year? Because we're only paying 13 payments a year. Why would you wait a year to start eliminating any interest at all? Why would you do that?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So just by using that particular that logic, I don't want to wait a year. I want to put money. I want to save interest as soon as I possibly can, where it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we tell them stop. Now that's the first reason to turn off a biweekly payment. Second reason is this: if you have a biweekly payment, you're going to save somewhere between 4.9 years and 7 years. You're going to knock off 4.9 to 7 years. So a 30-year loan at most can be cut down to 23. Are you following me?
Correct. Yes, I am.
All right. Our clients pay off their mortgages in an average of 7 to 9 years. We're saving clients 23 years. We're not saving them 7, and they're paying once a month. They're not doing the biweekly payment. We're using a different system that kills interest up front. So the biweekly payments, even though they're effective, they're just not efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can get efficacy, but it doesn't mean I'm getting efficiency. Okay. If I could save 7 years, that's effective. But if I'm efficient, I can save 23 using the same budget. Uh-oh. That makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, so here's what we're talking about, folks. So if we do this, if we pay our January payment and then prepay the $2,510.64, then we eliminate line 2 from our schedule because we're already down to the principal payment on line 2. And so we have to drop down to line 3 for February's new payment, where we're paying $2,521.10 and $6,182.90 in interest. So I have a question for you, Miss Dawn. That interest cost on line 2, the $6,193.36. What happened to that?
Oh, it went down to $6,182.09.
That's what most people believe. But what really happened is that the $6,193.36 was totally canceled. That's money you never have to pay. By paying that money, by paying money early, the 2510 early, money you were going to pay anyway, you just saved yourself a whole payment and saved yourself $6,193.36 in interest you never have to pay. How does that sound?
Sounds good. That's kind of like if I have a credit card
Mhm.
and I borrow on it and I pay it off in full before the payment is due.
Exactly. You don't have to pay the interest.
That's right.
Does it matter what interest rate it is?
No, it doesn't.
So if you had a credit card that's 50% interest, and nobody does, but if you had a credit card that's 50% interest, but you paid it off every month, how much interest would you pay?
0.
It doesn't matter what the interest rate is, does it?
Mhm.
Even if your credit card was 100%, don't look at interest rate, folks. Look at interest cost and see if there's something you could do about that. So now that we have an idea, all right, I need you all to look at cumulative principal on this thing and cumulative interest. At the end of 1 year, Ms. Dawn, looking at cumulative interest, cumulative principal for 12 months. If we follow the bank's plan, we will pay this loan down by how much money?
By $30,699.86.
How much does the bank want in interest to do that?
Listen, more than double, $73,748.14.
Do you think that's too much money in interest to pay for $30,000 worth of equity?
It's what can I say? It's brutal.
But Miss Dawn, this person is making a lot of money. Remember, their mortgage payment is $14,000 a month for both properties, but they're making $41,000 a month from the rentals.
Mhm.
But they never looked at the fact that they're paying a lot of interest along the way. Miss Coffee, I see you. Listen, I see you flashing. Listen, what are you flashing about over there?
Don, first of all, good morning to the Testimony Service Ministries. I hate that I didn't get a chance to see you. I ended up with food poisoning and laid up in the sick and shut-in ministry. But I wanted to tell you that just right now, you just got me over here excited because I'm like, dang, it doesn't. You got to tell the Eric Thomas story because regardless of what your income is, nobody wants to give away their money that they earned, period. So my sister is in the audience, Don, and she wants to know exactly how to see the screen. Do you mind sharing that real quick? My sister is in the audience.
Listen, can you tell us who your sister is? Does she want to be identified?
Her name is Cynthia. She is the beautiful lady in the VIP section.
All right, Miss Cynthia. Miss Kenyatta, would you please tell Miss Cynthia and anybody else who wants to know how they can see the screen?
Hi, Cynthia. Good morning. Hi, new people. Go to ice10k videos with the S.com on another device, laptop, maybe a desktop or a tablet, and you want to go straight to ice10kvideos.com with the S. While you're there, you're going to be directed to YouTube. Go ahead, comment, like, subscribe, but most importantly, share so that this information can become common knowledge.
All right, folks. So I'm. Go ahead. Who wanted to say something?
No, I was just going to tell her thank you.
All right. So I'm changing. Miss Kenyatta, could you go ahead and change that link? No, you're driving now, aren't you?
I am.
All right. So we're going to let me go ahead and put the new link up there, ice10kvideos.com, so people can see that. I'm going to edit this right now. Boom, boom. It's ice 10K, the number 10, the letter K, videos.com. There we go. And add the link. All right, folks, that's what you're looking at, ice10kvideos.com. Once you click on that, you can now go to straight to our YouTube, and please subscribe. We're building up our subscribers so people or more people can see it. Make sure you like some of the videos and get them out there as well. So that's how you can see what's going on. So we're getting back to this thing, and I want to show you something so very interesting for the real estate investors. Are you ready, all the real estate investors? So this particular gentleman says, Don, even though I'm making I got over $41,000 a month coming in, and my mortgage payments are $14,000. I want to reinvest the bulk of my money into more real estate. Okay. So I want to save interest, but I also want to make money with my money. So the bulk of my money is going there. And I said, well, so Don, is there anything you can do for me if I still want to continue to invest? I don't want to take my money to pay down on this mortgage. I just don't. I want to continue to build and grow my portfolio. I said, well, let me ask you something. Do you have an account, a reserve account, monies that you set aside for doing maintenance and repairs? He says, well, yeah, I got that. So what we've designated about $6,000 a month out of my income to go over here. Okay. About $6,000 a month to go over that to that account so that we can save money. So I said, oh, okay. So if you're doing that, let's take a look at that account. About how much money do you have in that account? You know what he told me? It's about $100,000. He's got about $100,000 sitting in that account. He makes so much money. It doesn't even bother him that he has $100,000 in a account making 0.1%. Okay, because it's convenient. It's there. Okay, he knows it's there. And so he's got so much other money invested other places that having $100,000 in the bank making 0.1% doesn't even bother him. So what we're doing is showing him this. I said, you got about $6,000 a month. Let me give you an example. Now, this is not my methodology. We have a computer system that tells him exactly what to do and when. But to show him what we're talking about, I gave him this example. I said, at the end of 1 year on this loan, you would pay it down by $30,000. And it'll cost you $73,000 in interest. He says, yes. So let me ask you something. You've got $100,000 over here in your savings account making 0.1%. Could you borrow from yourself $30,699.86 out of that account? You would still have nearly $70,000 in that account. He said, well, yeah, I guess I would. I said, so you could borrow some of that money out. And then could you advance it to this loan, advance this particular loan by applying $30,699.86 to mortgage principal on line one? Could you do that if you wanted to? He says, yes. I said, would that hurt your budget? He says, no. Would that get in the way of you investing all the other money you wanted to invest? He says, no, because the money was just sitting there. So if we did that, guess what, folks? If we can take the amount of money, and I'm going to put this, listen, I'm going to put this on the screen. All right. I'm going to put this on the screen for everybody to see. My goodness. I'm going to put a calculator on the screen just to prove what I'm saying is true. All right. We have a mortgage of $1,488,906.65. We're talking about prepaying $30,699.86 all in 1 month instead of over 12 monthly installments. Let's put it all on 1 month, and we're going to borrow it from an account that's making 0.1%. So we're going to subtract $30,699.86 from this, and it equals 1,458,206.79. And folks, that is the same number that's right here on line 12. So if he prepays the 30,699.86 in month 1, he's paid down to line 12 in 1 month. What just happened? He just canceled all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. In other words, instead of costing him $73,748.14 to pay his mortgage down to right here, it only costs him $6,203.78, the interest on line 1. Miss Dawn, is that a significant savings? Is $67,661 a significant savings to do the same thing?
Oh, that absolutely is.
Wow, wow, wow. And so, and listen, I'm not through with this yet. You know what else happened? Guess what? I said, now, based on how much money you're putting in the bank, how long is it going to take you to pay yourself back? He says, well, I'm putting in that bank account about $6,000 a month. So it's going to take me about 5 or 6 months to put it back. Guess what I asked him, Miss Dawn? I said, do you think after 6 months you could put that money, take more money out, take about the same amount out and apply it to this loan again and knock off about another year and another $70,000 in interest?
Mm-hmm.
And do that every 4 to 6 months? Take some money out of here and apply it to the debt and get out of debt. Listen, let me show you what happened when if just by following this advice and then letting the program do what it does. Now, remember, he was supposed to pay $1,122,000 in interest just on one loan, just on one. All right. Let me show you what happened when he decided to take a look at, I'm going to move this over here to this screen. Boop, boop, boop. All right. Now we're taking a look at these loans now. All right. And I'm going to scroll down. We've got both loans in here. He was supposed to pay. Look at this. Look at this. All right. He's got over $2 million worth of loans in here. Okay. And he has been paying on this before I met him. All right. So on one loan he's had for 37 months. Look at this. One loan he's had for 37 months. And in 37 months, he paid it down by $99,000, which was really good. But look how much interest he paid to pay it down in 37 months. Ouch. $222,000 in interest. Now, remember, he was cash flowing, but he wasn't looking at the fact that it cost him $222,000 to get $99,000 in equity. So we took him where he was and said, let's scroll down. You still owe $2,236,000. The bank wants you to pay all of this off in 21.9 years and pay $1,123,000 in interest. Look over to the right-hand side because this is what we proposed. How about instead of paying $1,123,000, you only pay $243,000 to pay off the $2,236,000 that you owe, and do it in 4.9 years. Just by strategically using money you set aside in an account so that you can make repairs on your buildings, but we're going to strategically use that while the rest of your money goes into reinvesting to grow your portfolio. Man, oh man. Flame, did you just hear what we're just talking about? What do you think about this? Is Flame still in the building?
Look, if Flame not here, I'm like, my God.
Nah, you gotta
My
understand. You gotta understand. Listen, I'm gonna make sure it's clear because I want to make sure this is clear and everybody can hear me out. My grandmother gave me one of the biggest lessons that I've ever received, and that was she was standing over a stove and she was cooking. When she finished cooking, it was taking her from the previous day to the next day was her cooking. When she put that plate of food in front of me, I ate that food in like 5 minutes, right? Everything off of that plate. And she gave me this lesson, and I will never forget it. She told me these words, and they were, she said, baby, she said, I sat here for about 2 days and cooked this food. Sometimes what you have to do is that you got to put the food in your mouth and you got to swirl around and you got to taste the seasonings of it, right? That goes in instead of just swallowing it. And I think
Man,
that's what a lot of times what happens is that people would take information and they'd just swallow it. So when Mr. Don was just talking just then, right, it's cool to take that minute to just sit there and savor all of them seasonings that he's giving you of that food that he's giving you and digest it and take it down so you can actually retain the information. It's one thing to obtain it, it's another thing to retain it. And that's what we're doing in here this morning. So if you guys are in here this morning, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think honesty is a good thing to do, right? Because people can feel when other people are not honest. You can. I'm very upset this morning. I'm upset because this man came in here. He's giving his information down, and for the last 10 minutes, he's giving you information that I know for a fact that you've never heard. And
come
when
on.
before he began to talk, it was 47 shares. And after he finished talking, it's 47 shares. So what you're asking him to do is to pour into you, but you won't pour into him by sharing the room. That is a very disrespectful thing for someone to do, is to take in something and not give back. If you ever notice in any relationship, I don't care if it's a husband and wife, I don't care if it's a mother and a child. I don't care if it's two old classmates or co-workers. When one person is giving and the other person is not giving back, then that causes a dysfunction in relationships. So let's make sure that we pour back into Mr. Don the same way he's pouring into us this morning. And the way that we able to pour back is to making sure they're saying, you know what, if the least that I can do, the very least I can do is share this room, that's what I'll do. That's the bare minimum that I can do. So I'm asking you guys right now to making sure that even if you shared this room earlier, we need to share it again. Recalculate that vision and throw it back in the hallway. Let folks know that this morning you're not playing, that you're sick and tired. If you Sometimes people like to tell stories about how they sick and tired and sick and tired. If you can feel that energy, and if you really truly mean that you're sick and tired of what people are doing to you, right? They do it to you with your eyes open. They make you sign these documents while they're getting to you. And if you truly believe in that, what I'm asking you to do right now is just share this room. I want you to share it to someone else so they don't get taken advantage of. So them too don't have to come with the same sad story of they didn't teach me this. At some point in time, the buck has got to stop. It's got to stop. I've seen I've seen a generation of people do this one thing. I heard a father say, "Man, I got it out of the mud." And what was disheartening is I saw his son, and his son uttered the same words. I got it out of the mud. At some point in time, something has got to stop. If you're looking for it to stop right now, I need you to go in the chat right now, right? And I need you to type that number 9. Let's give Mr. Don, let's give him all the energy that we can give him right now. We got 75 chats. Listen, I need you to push that number 9 like you've never pushed it before. I need you to pour into his cup right now. When you look at his cup, right, I want you to understand that that cup, if it's being poured out, the more is being poured out, it becomes empty. What we got to do is keep pouring back to that cup so Mr. Don can pour back into us. So right now, let me see the number 9s in the chat. Let me see that you share this room. Listen, number 9s in the chat. Let's get them. Come on, hit that number 9. I want that finger to hurt. Listen, if you think that finger's hurting right now from you punching number 9, imagine what the interest rate is doing to you. So let's press that number 9 in the chat this morning. Let's press that number 9. Let's press that number 9. Let's press that number 9. Listen, I need you to hit that number 9 this morning. If you really feel a certain way that the banks have been taking advantage of you, right? If you feel like that for real, and you want to pull up on your cousin for not paying you back $20, let me put my phone on mute.
Flame, you are something else. Miss Coffee, what do you think about this information?
You know, Flame got me over here. Look, I had to pull over messing with Flame. I felt like I was in church, child. Listen here, Don, you said something a little while ago that I want you to elaborate on. You talked about investing and saving simultaneously. Well, some other thought leaders don't feel that way. They feel like you need to relieve yourself of all of your debt before you actually start investing or saving. Talk about that, Don. Elaborate on that. Help us to understand that.
Well, listen, there is a strategy, and in fact, there's a man that is north of me in Nashville, Tennessee. He says that exact same thing. He says, "Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything. Eat beans and rice 7 days a week. Maybe even sell pizzas at night. Drive a 30-year-old car. Cut up your credit cards, and then take all of the money and then pay it towards the debt and using the debt snowball." By doing that, folks, by doing it that way, yes, you can get out of debt in about 15 years. I mean, and listen, and then then he says you can start living. By then, your 3-year-old is now 18. And were you able to create memories with that, with your children? No, because you were taking all of the money that you were earning and the money that you could have been creating memories with. You were taking that to pay down the debt. Yeah, that part. You were telling them when they said, "Listen, can I have dance lessons or piano lessons, or can we do this?" Yes, we can do all of it you want to do as soon as mommy and daddy pay off the debt. We can do all that stuff as soon as mommy and daddy pay off the debt. Oh my goodness. What they heard was, we can't afford it. What they heard was, money doesn't grow on trees. What they heard was, we just don't have it. We got to pay off the debt. What they heard was, cash is king, debt is killing us, and they'd learn how to be afraid of it. That's what do you know how many people I meet just like that, Miss Coffee, that they're afraid of debt? They're afraid. They don't even own a credit card. And when it comes time for them to get a loan, to finally get their own mortgage, they grew up in this family, and by the time they went to get their own mortgage to get a house, because they didn't have time to save up for 30 years to buy a house. They wanted to get a house because they wanted to raise their own family in a house. So by the time they go get the house, they want to get credit. Guess what? Here's what they hear. Folks, the only thing worse than bad credit is what, everybody? Somebody on the stage. What's the only thing worse than bad credit?
No credit.
No credit. No credit.
No credit.
No credit. That's the only thing worse than bad credit is no credit. Lord have mercy. And we got people out there teaching this, saying that credit is bad and cash is king. If cash were king, let me tell you something. If cash were king, then the biggest borrower in town would not be borrowing money. Who's the biggest borrower in your town? Who's the biggest borrower?
The bank.
Okay, the bank is the biggest borrower in your town. And what do they do with the money that they borrow?
They reinvest it.
They reinvest that. And what do they pay us? What do they pay us for borrowing. They borrow our money so they can reinvest and make big old money with it. And what do they pay us for the use of our money?
You almost made me cuss, Don. You almost made me cuss.
Nada.
My God.
Come
Not a
on.
dime.
Come on now.
Don, my sister's asking a question. She's at her company right
Okay.
now. She's actually an investment banker.
Yes.
She's in the real estate investment broker.
Mhm.
She has a question. She wants to know what happens if the loan has a prepayment penalty.
Okay.
I was going to ask that as well.
Here is the loan has if it has a
I
prepayment
love
penalty.
that. I
Okay.
love that question.
Let me give you just a quick example of this, because prepayment penalties. I work in 2 countries where prepayment penalties are prevalent. One is Canada, the other one is Bermuda. Okay, and I actually have a information on a yearly report from the Bank of Bermuda. Guess what it says when it gets down to prepayment penalties? That report says this bank made an extra $3 million from prepayment penalties. Miss Coffee, if this bank made an extra, and they're reporting they made $3 million from prepayment penalties, does that make you ask a question here?
Somebody paying off stuff early then, if they making money off of it.
Exactly. Somebody's paying something off early so that the bank can make an extra $3 million in prepayment penalties. So if somebody is paying a prepayment penalty, then what would make it worth them paying a penalty? What would make it worth paying a penalty?
Relief of interest from the loan itself.
Let me get back to my screen. Let me show you something here, folks. Let me show you something here. Then we're going to get back into this prepayment penalty thing. I need you to see this. Let's go ahead and share the screen one more time. And I need to show you something that this particular gentleman paid on this mortgage. Okay. And he's able to pay it off in 4.9 years. So we need to put that back on the screen. Okay. All right. Paid it off in 4.9 years. All right. And let me see here. Share. Okay. And add to. All right. We need to make it bigger. Can we make it bigger? All right.
Yes, we can see it bigger.
All right. Go ahead. And we need to make that big. There we go. All right. So now we have that information on the screen right now. Okay. So how much I have the interest savings. I'm highlighting the interest savings on this loan. $891,000 in interest. This investor no longer has to pay. So if I've got to pay a prepayment penalty, but I'm saving $891,000. Let's put a pin in that right there. And let me give you an example of something I did for a family in Canada. We showed them now the reason why people avoid prepayment penalties is because they have no idea how much interest they're saving when they prepay. That's number one. We have not been taught how to calculate interest savings when we prepay. That is not part of our financial education anywhere. And we have seasoned investors right here. We have people in banking right here. We have people in real estate, right? The real estate agents and real estate brokers. And guess what? We all know we can prepay. But even if I gave my CPA, if you gave your CPA $500 and told your CPA, apply this $500 to your own mortgage CPA. Now tell me how much interest you just saved. Do you know your CPA does not know how to figure that out? Because they have not been taught to focus there. They've been taught how to bring down the principal on the loan, but not taught how much interest you just saved by that one move. That is a problem. So here's what prepayment penalties do, folks. They cause us to avoid penalties, but it doesn't inspire us to do the math. And what I mean by doing the math is this. If how much interest am I going to save? Number one, and how much is the penalty? Number two. You've got to do both. Miss Coffee, does it make sense that we got to know how much if we're going to do something, does it make sense to find out how much interest we're going to save and then how much the penalty actually is? Or are we going to react just to the word penalty? Come on, folks.
No, that makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
So here's what we did for the family in Canada. They were concerned about paying off this loan early by following one of our instructions, and they were going to save and I told them, you're going to save $100,000 in interest. That got their attention. They're prepaying, they're going to save $100,000 in interest. Got their attention. Now, what they wanted to know is how much is the penalty? We actually went to the website, their mortgage company website, and they have a calculator in Canada so you can figure out what your prepayment penalty actually will be. The prepayment penalty to save $100,000 in interest was $1,200. Ms. Coffee, I want to know what you got to say to that. And hopefully your sister put something in the chat. I hope she heard that. But folks, listen, here's what we got to do. Don't change the word penalty to the word cost. There's a prepayment cost. There's a cost to prepay. Once you find out what the cost is, then go ahead and find out what the benefit is. And this is what we're all about. We have a program that tells you exactly how much interest you are saving. But listen, folks, the story doesn't stop there. Back to the screen. Come on, if you're new, Kenyatta, I know we got some new people in here now because I mean, we're up to 55 shares. We got 50 people in here now. So I know there's some new people. They want to see what I'm getting ready to show them on the screen, Miss Kenyatta.
Listen, if you guys are looking, if you guys right now, if you're ready for Mr. Don to share this information, right? If you're ready for him to get back on the board and start making things happen, what I'm looking for you guys to do right now is I need you to make sure that you share the room, number one. Number two is I need you to hit number 9 in the chat, right? If you right now, I want you to go to the top where it says ice10kvideos.com. I want you to watch this example of what he's getting ready to do. Right? From a person who's already done it, from a person that teaches this and want you to have this information just like he has. There's a lot of places that Mr. Don could have been this morning, but he chose to be in here with us. And I think that's a great thing. By being a great thing, let's make sure that we pour back into him the same way that he's pouring into us. One of those ways in order to pour is doing digital currency. Digital currency is taking things off of digital, which is being able to share this room and putting it in your hallway so people that follow you can actually see this room. When they see that room come down their hallway, maybe them too want to come into the room. And maybe they're getting tired of saying the words, nobody taught me. Well, since we can get rid of those words now, let's share it to other people so they can now say the same thing again. What I'm asking you guys to do again is to hit the number 9 in the chat. Let's pump that number 9. Let's flow him with as much energy. Let's give him as much power as that we got to give him. I need you to type number 9 in the chat. I want you to continuously to type that 9. Hit that number 999. That's the energy. That's the energy that revolves around, right? That energy that he's got to have, right? You got to understand there's a cup. He's pouring this morning, right? He's poured in places that I didn't even know. He's reached my inner soul, and I know he's probably reached yours as well. With that being said, let's take a moment right now to pour back into him. The way that we're going to pour back into him right now is showing him our appreciation by sharing the room and also giving him that number 9, that energy that he must deserve, right? We got to pour that number 9 back into him so he can have all the strength that he needs so he can show us all of these examples in which he's helping us save money off of our debt. Not just save money, but save the money in which you're paying someone else. And that, my friend, is called interest. With that being said, it's back to you, Don.
Listen, I got
Actually, Flame, that was excellent. So what Flame just told you is the truth. The ultimate is to share. Go ahead and go to ice10kvideos.com. That's videos with an S. and share the video as well, because not everybody is on Clubhouse, everyone. So you want this information out. You don't want not another person not to know it. So go ahead and do both.
Wow, wow, wow. Listen, I got plenty of energy. Now, watch this, folks. I need you to focus in on certain parts of what you're seeing. The bank wanted this investor.
John, you're on mute.
Thank you very much. The bank, folks, listen, I got plenty of energy now. Let's get into this thing. The bank wanted this investor to pay off the $2,236,000 that he owes and wanted him to pay $1,123,000 in interest over 21.9 years. We showed him how to use the same budget, and not compromise any of the money that he has going towards investments, not one dime. Is able to make money and save money in interest. So he's only going to pay out $243,000, $243,463 to manage this loan. Pay it off in 4.9 years. But I need you to focus in on this. Interest savings, $891,000. $891,000. Now, even though the bank was charging him an extra $891,000 to gain the same equity, so he's gaining the same property, the same asset for $891,000 less. But that is not the miracle here. Listen to this. If he was to pay the $891,000, and he was always okay with this. I mean, he's not as, this is not new to him. Real estate investing is not new. Got plenty of properties, done it before, paid them off, blah, 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 blah. So he's done that. Okay. Paid interest before. But when I showed him, if you got that asset for $891,000 less, what could you do with the $891,000 you did not have to give to the bank? Are you ready? Are you ready? Over the next 18 years, here's what he could do. Put that into more properties and turn it into another $9 million, right at the bottom of the screen, $9,699,756. Oh, folks, and that isn't even the biggest miracle. The biggest miracle is this. That's taking that money and only making 1% interest on his money over the next 18 years. That's only 1% return on his money. Come on. Of course he's making more than that. But when you're showing people stuff, you want to show them, here's the basic minimum that you could do with that money is make another $9 million with it at 1% return on your money. So folks, here's what real estate investors need to realize is this. And this is what Miss Dawn was talking about. Miss Dawn, the money that we pay in interest is not the crime. The crime is that the money that can never make money for you because you gave it to the bank unnecessarily.
Absolutely.
That is what we're talking about today.
Absolutely.
This is your generational wealth right here. I know I'm going to stop right here because we have 9 minutes left. And I want you to meet the moderators today, people who came to the stage, and we want to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas this morning. I want you to know this right here, okay? For real estate investors and for you who are you're not in commercial real estate, you're in residential real estate. It doesn't really matter.
I got to jump in here right quick. I just have
to. Oh, okay. Right? Okay, go ahead.
And the reason I got to jump in here is because you mentioned a combo word that's used across this nation in entirety, and that word was called generational wealth, right? And let me explain something to you guys so it's clear. So I don't like whispers. I don't like back channeling to your friends, and I'll hate them little text messages or emails that you can give out and said Flame said this and Flame said that. No, I like to be clear. Is that you can have all the generational wealth that you want. It will not happen unless you have a generational plan. Think about this. Been around for a while, and I've seen grandmothers live and then they pass away. But throughout that journey, after they pass, I've never seen a grandmother leave a family a cake. Never have. But you know what I've seen? I've seen grandmothers leave the recipe in order to know how to make the cake. And that's what we're saying this morning. Is what Mr. Don is doing this morning is he didn't tell you about generational wealth, was just talk. He's showing you in detail of how to create the generational plan. So now that you have the money, because now that plan in which you're able to take home, is that what you can pass on from generation to generation. So everyone in your family can understand how to pay off a mortgage in 7 years and use that funding for those other avenues. And that's something that I thought needed to be really explained very well. Thank you, Mr. Don, for that. Is understanding the generational plan to have that generational wealth. That being said, I yield the mic.
Folks, we've all heard it. We've all heard that we want to it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep, but they're generally talking about taxes. And listen, a tax plan, a tax strategy is one of the best strategies you could ever have. You have to have a good tax strategy. You want to keep the money that you earn. Okay. In fact, I know some people who pay next to nothing for taxes because they found a way to make everything they do tax deductible in a legal way. Legally cut their taxes to almost zero, which means this, folks. Here's which means this. I need you to get this, and I need you to get it right. We have many, many tax strategies. We have absolutely no strategies on how not to pay interest. We're going to pay way more interest than we'll ever pay in taxes. And we have no strategy on how not to pay interest. Interest is the most expensive thing you're going to pay in your entire life. That's why the Bible talks about how usury is a bad thing. Okay? It doesn't say, it says usury is a bad thing. Jesus even said about taxes, give to Caesar what's due to Caesar. He didn't say taxes were bad. It says give Caesar what Caesar wants. But he did say, but the Bible does say usury is a bad thing. Interest, because it concentrates the wealth into just a few hands. We need a strategy on how not to pay all of that interest. Folks, you are spending your children's inheritance on interest. We need to stop that and then take that money we didn't spend on interest and turn it into millions of dollars, even if you're working a 9-to-5, a W-2, and you never get into real estate investing or getting into your own business or never become an entrepreneur. You can still build a generational wealth in the millions by taking that money you didn't pay in interest and investing it properly. Folks, if you want to know more about what we're talking about, you want to go to let's change the link. We're going to change it to ice10k.com, ice10k.com. We're going to put that on this, change the link there. Go to ice10k.com. I'm going to put it in here, folks, so that you can see it. Edit link. I'm doing it right now. ice10k.com. There we go. All right. And in there, you will see a button that says get a savings and earnings report. Get a savings and earnings report. If you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save. And not only that, do you know why we call it savings and earnings report? Because we're going to show you, just like I had on the screen before, that interest that you save, how you can become your own family bank. If you want to know how to become your own family bank, and one of the best strategies that we're using is permanent life insurance. Oh my gosh, specifically IULs, Index Universal Life. How this program combined with a universal index universal life product can make you a ton of money. Do you know how the roller coaster the stock market has been on lately? Have you seen it? I mean, dropping like a stone. Guess what? People who are with us who made 15 to 18% on their money using IULs didn't lose a dime because of the stock market. It's written into the contract. You can't lose your money once you make it. You can't lose your principal once you have it in there. It's in the contract. You can't lose no matter what's going on with the stock market. You can't lose your money. Oh my gosh. So we have people that made 14, 18% last year. I'm interested to see what they're going to make this year, even though the stock market is going crazy. Oh my goodness. Folks, I want to thank you for coming in here. We've got just a couple of minutes left. So I want to make sure that you know how to get to us. Make sure you buy the book. Get the book today. The book is the only one on Clubhouse. This book is the only book on Amazon. On Amazon that talks about what we were talking about today. Get the book. And then we're also going to make sure that you get a 10K card that goes along with it. You know that card you've been clicking on? It is very versatile. It's my digital business card. Miss Kenyatta, tell them how, once they buy the book, how they're going to get their digital business card that I'm going to pay for.
I want you to go to ice10k.com and upload the receipt so that you can build out your own card to your specification with social media, phone number, etc. Let us know where you want to receive it, and you'll have your own their digital card valued at $100.
Thank you so much. Folks, what we're going to do now, we're going to be shutting this room down. I want to go through every person that's been contributing on the stage. Please do about 30 seconds and go ahead and tell us who you are, what you do in about 30 seconds so we can get through this. We want to let the people go on time. I'm just a little bit over. We're going to go from the bottom to the top, and we're going to start with Miss Dawn. Take about 30 seconds to do an outro, please. Ms. Dawn, are you there? We can't hear you if you're talking. You may have to leave and come back because sometimes the app gets glitchy. Miss Coffee, let's see if we can circle back to Miss Dawn. Miss Coffee, are you there?
I am. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in, tapping in, and being a part of the conversation this morning. So I am an international best-selling author, own a boutique, and we do so many other things. We just released the book on Sunday, hit the bestsellers list in 6 hours. So we're so excited about that. The book is called Parenting Teens, The Tug of War to Adulthood. You can definitely go directly to Amazon through my 10K card, coffee10k.com, and snatch your copy of that new publication. If you want to connect with us for any other reason, connect with us directly through our 10K card, coffee10k.com. Don, thank you a million times over for all that you do. We honor you and appreciate you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Miss Kelly, are you there? Can take about 30 seconds to tell us how fabulous you are.
Well, I need more than 30 seconds to tell you that, but thank you so much for this space, Don. If you guys are interested in the e-commerce space and building vendor credit for that purpose, message me on Instagram, and my website is selfcareholistic.com. I have access to way more products than that, but that give you some type of example of what I'm about. So you message me on Instagram. I also have free resources to help you build your business, to get into the e-commerce space. So thank you for the space, Don.
Miss Kenyatta, you're up next. 30 seconds, please.
Again, you guys, it's been a pleasure. And as always, we appreciate your presence and pray that we earn the privilege of your time. If you're interested in getting money for your real estate deals or your business as the official lender here at the P.I.L.L Method Room, I can help you. Tap in. Again, that's kingout10k.com. Have a blessed one.
Thank you, Miss Credit Goddess.
Yes. Hey, everybody. My name is Rosalora Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess, all things credit. I'm a credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant, and an educator at B.RRRR University. If any of you guys are interested in my services, the number is in my bio, 557-5778. Send your name and email address to that link, and there will be a consultation link that will pop up at the bottom. Go ahead and book your free or paid consultation, and let's get your credit on its way. Thank you.
Mr. Flame Newton, 30 seconds, please. Tell us who you are and how fabulous you are.
Go to Facebook right now. I need everybody to go to Facebook. Go to Facebook, like go there now. Like, listen, go there. I want you to type these words in. Flame Newton. Type them words in. Flame Newton, and follow me. Flame Newton, and follow me on Facebook. I need to get over Facebook. Flame Newton. That's it.
Listen, folks, I want to thank everyone here. Please take the time out to follow me and follow the club. Follow me and follow this club. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. We've been doing this for 16 years, and now we're going on live on social media, getting the message out. And I want to thank you for coming in and sharing and getting the information out. But listen, we're going to give the last word before we end today. We're going to give the last word to Dr. Eric Thomas, and we're going to see you right back here on Friday. There we go, folks. Let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas and what he has to say about the P.I.L.L method, and see you on Friday.
Listen to me, y'all. I didn't even know he was responsible. But one of his mentees, probably about 4 years ago, maybe, took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you going to keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. And so when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest. Do me a favor, take these principles and use them. Make the rest of your life the best of your life. I love you guys. Take care.